did the mom defending her little angel finally regret it in front of the police? I was standing in line at the pharmacy when something suddenly hit me hard at the back of the head. I turned around and saw a boy, maybe 6 years old, giggling as he loaded another projectile into a toy slingshot. Before I could even react, he fired again, this time a metal toy car that struck me right in the forehead. The pain was immediate, and seconds later, I felt warm blood trickling down. When I touched my forehead, my fingers came back red, so there I was, bleeding after being shot in the head with a toy car by some kid. Naturally, I looked around, expecting the boy's horrified parent to rush over with apologies. Instead, I spotted a woman, clearly his mother, completely absorbed in her phone, scrolling away as if nothing was happening. She didn't even glance at me, let alone tell her son to stop. Trying to stay calm, I walked up to her and said, "Excuse me, but your son just hit me, and I'm bleeding." She barely lifted her eyes and muttered, "He's just playing. Kids will be kids." At that moment, the pharmacist behind the counter called out, "Ma'am, are you all right? Do you need a bandage?" But before I could answer, the boy dashed behind the counter, passed a sign that clearly said, "Staff only," and began knocking bottles of medicine off the shelves. The pharmacist froze as glass shattered across the floor. Still, the mother didn't move, didn't even acknowledge what was happening. The pharmacist raised her voice. "You need to control your child immediately. Those are prescription drugs." The woman sighed theatrically, as if we were all inconveniencing her. "He's exploring. That's how children learn about the world." An elderly man behind me calmly added, "Young lady, your son could hurt himself or someone else. Those are not toys." But the boy had already grabbed a bottle, opened it, and poured pills all over the floor. He then stomped on them, grinding expensive medication into powder. That's when the pharmacist snapped, storming out from behind the counter. "Enough, these are controlled substances. I'm calling security." Finally, the mother stood up, not to discipline her child, but to scold the pharmacist. "Don't you dare threaten my son. He's just expressing himself. He's destroying property and endangering people's safety," I shouted, unable to stay quiet any longer. "And he physically injured me." I pointed to my bleeding forehead. The mother gave me a cold, icy stare. "If you can't handle children, that's your problem." Something inside me broke. I pulled out my phone and started recording. "So according to you, it's perfectly normal for your child to assault strangers and destroy medicine?" Her eyes widened. "Stop recording me or else what?" The elderly man interrupted. "Attack her like your son did? I'm a witness, and I've already called the police." Her face instantly shifted from smug and defiant to panicked. For the first time, she grabbed her son's hand and tried to drag him out of the pharmacy, but the boy collapsed onto the floor, shrieking in a full-blown tantrum, nearly knocking her over. The pharmacist blocked the door. "The police are on their way. Those medications are worth thousands, and everything is on camera." The mother suddenly changed her tone. "I'm sorry, he has behavioral issues. I'll pay for everything. Just please don't call the police." "Too late," said the old man, as 2 officers walked in. What happened next was both satisfying and unsettling. The officers reviewed the footage, took statements, photographed my injury. The woman was charged with gross negligence, failure to supervise a child, property damage, and attempting to flee the scene. Child Protective Services were also called. As they led her out in handcuffs, she glared at me with pure hatred. "This is your fault. He's just a child." "No," I replied, pressing a bandage to my forehead. "This is what happens when parents stop being parents." The elderly man patted my shoulder and said softly, "Some people shouldn't have kids until they've grown up themselves." I just nodded, watching as the boy was quietly taken away by a social worker.